So today I'm gonna build a keyboard. Okay, so maybe we're not really building one, but what we're doing comes pretty dang close to it. My first mechanical keyboard was the Code keyboard from WASD with Cherry MX Browns, which I really liked, but I felt like it was time for a change. After watching a ton of keyboard videos, I kind of wanted something a bit different from your standard name brand keyboards that you can find just about everywhere. So what I have here is the Glorious Modular Mechanical Keyboard, or GMMK for short. This thing is really cool because it uses hot swappable mounts for your key switches, so you can put in whatever switches you like without having to deal with soldering. Now, I could go and buy a DIY kit and solder in the switches myself. It's really not that hard, but I really didn't want to go through all that hassle since it's really time consuming to do. So I just went ahead with this, and it's pretty much perfect for my needs. You can get a pre-built version for just under $110, but I went and got the bare bones edition, which doesn't come with any switches or keycaps. It has an aluminum body with zero flex. It's nice and minimal with no visible branding at all, which is always a plus for me. You get full N-key rollover via USB, you can set macros, and for those of you that love to RGBify everything, it does have RGB backlighting, which you can customize in the GMMK software. Now, enough about specs, let's put this thing together. The switches I went for are the Kailh Box Jades. These things are awesome. It's a super clicky switch thanks to its click bar design, and it's extremely tactile. These are probably some of the most tactile switches I've ever used, which isn't really saying much, to be honest, since I really only have experience with Cherry and standard Kailh switches, but that doesn't make these any less awesome. The process for putting this thing together is super simple. It's just a matter of popping in your switches and keycaps, but one thing to keep in mind are the stabilizers the GMMK comes with. It comes with some Cherry style stabilizers, but they're not genuine Cherry, which are honestly not that great and pretty rattly if you leave them as is, so I went ahead and did a little modding. Nothing complicated, just clipping and lubing them. And to go the extra mile, I did a thing called Band-Aid modding, which is literally just putting a small strip of fabric Band-Aid with a bit of lube to dampen it slightly. Doing all this is pretty time consuming, but trust me, it's super worth it. I'll leave a link to a really great video by Nathan from Taya Types on how to do this. Now for the keycaps, I went with these MAXKEY SA profile keycaps in gray and blue. It's made with double shot ABS plastic, and I feel the colors look really great on this board. And here it is all put together. I love the look of the SA profile keycaps. They're a little taller than your standard Cherry keycaps and way taller than your popular DSA profile, which does take some getting used to, but yeah, overall, I'm really happy with how it turned out, and even more happy with the overall typing experience, which is a big change from my old keyboard. Now, the moment you've all been waiting for, here's a little typing test for you guys. I never really realized how much of a difference the keycaps make on the sound. It has a nice deep click, the switches are overall extremely tactile, and just a real treat to type on. Something I forgot to mention about the keycaps earlier is the lack of a homing bump on the F and J keys that I'm normally used to. Instead, it uses deep dish homing keys, which honestly didn't take me long to get used to, but it's something to keep in mind. So would I recommend this keyboard? Definitely. While my configuration is a bit pricier due to the keycaps, you can build it for much cheaper. Obviously, it's still more expensive than a lot of budget mechanical keyboards on the market, but this is a really solid route if you want something custom without the hassle of soldering in your switches.